What if I told you that everything you think you know about creating your reality is based on incomplete information? That there are ancient laws of manifestation, laws that were deliberately hidden from humanity for thousands of years, that modern quantum physics is now proving to be scientifically accurate. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to reveal three sacred principles that mystic traditions have guarded for millennia and show you exactly how to use them to completely transform your life. But I have to warn you, once you understand these laws, there's no going back to the old way of thinking. You've probably heard about the law of attraction, manifestation, positive thinking, but here's what no one tells you. What's been popularized in the mainstream is actually a watered-down, incomplete version of much more powerful ancient knowledge. It's like being given a bicycle when you could have had a rocket ship. The first thing we need to understand is that you've been living in what I call the consensus trance, a collective agreement about what reality is that's been carefully constructed to keep you operating at a fraction of your true potential. Think about it. If everyone knew how to access these hidden laws, would the power structures of our world remain the same? Let me share something that will shock you. Ancient texts from Egypt, Tibet, and the Hermetic tradition all describe the same fundamental principle. Reality is not solid, fixed, or separate from consciousness. In fact, consciousness is the very fabric from which all experience is woven. But somewhere along the way, humanity forgot this truth. The ancient Egyptians had a saying, "As above, so below, as within, so without." They understood that the external world is a perfect mirror of internal states. The Tibetan masters spoke of interdependent origination, the idea that nothing exists independently. Everything arises from the field of pure awareness. And the Hermetic texts clearly state, all is mind, the universe is mental. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Modern quantum physics is discovering the same truths. The double-slit experiment shows us that particles behave differently when observed. The observer effect demonstrates that consciousness literally affects physical reality at the quantum level. Dr. Amit Goswami, quantum physicist, has shown that consciousness is fundamental, not an emergent property of matter. But here's the deception that's been perpetrated. You've been taught that you're separate from the field of consciousness, that you're a victim of circumstances, that change is hard and takes time. This is absolutely false. You are not in the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself subjectively. The reason most people fail at manifestation isn't because the laws don't work. It's because they've been given incomplete instructions. They're trying to manifest from their limited ego, consciousness, instead of aligning with the infinite field of pure potential that they actually are. Think of it this way. Imagine you've been trying to access the internet through a dial-up connection when you actually have access to fiber optic, broadband. The potential was always there, but no one told you how to activate it. The ancient mystery schools knew this. That's why their teachings were kept secret, not to hoard power, but because this knowledge in the wrong hands, or misunderstood, could be dangerous. But now, at this critical point in human evolution, it's time for these secrets to be revealed. Now, I'm going to reveal the three hidden laws that will change everything for you. These aren't metaphors or philosophical concepts. These are precise operating principles of reality itself. Everything in existence is vibration. This isn't New Age philosophy. This is established science. But here's what the ancients knew, that we forgot. You have the power to consciously choose your vibrational frequency, and when you do, reality must reorganize itself to match. The Vedic texts describe this as spanda, the primordial vibration from which all creation emerges. Modern string theory suggests that at the most fundamental level, everything is composed of vibrating strings of energy. But here's the key. That's been hidden. Your consciousness is not just observing these vibrations, it's conducting the entire orchestra. Most people live in reactive mode, letting their environment determine their vibration. But when you understand the law of vibrational sovereignty, you realize that you can consciously choose your frequency regardless of circumstances. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about accessing specific states of consciousness that align you with the reality you desire. The ancient Egyptians built their entire civilization around this principle. The pyramids themselves are vibrational technologies designed to amplify consciousness. They understood that specific geometric forms, sounds, and intentions could literally reshape reality. Here's how to apply this law. Instead of trying to change your external circumstances, first establish vibrational sovereignty. This means choosing your emotional and mental state consciously, moment by moment. When you maintain a high-frequency state, states like gratitude, love, excitement, peace, for extended periods, the quantum field begins to reorganize around this new vibration. But there's a secret technique the masters use that I'll share with you. They would enter what I call the vibrational void, a state of pure potential where no specific frequency is dominant. From this space, you can literally program reality by choosing which frequency to amplify. This law was known to the Mayan timekeepers, the Aboriginal Dreamtime navigators, and the quantum shamans of ancient Peru. They understood that linear time is an illusion, that all possibilities exist simultaneously in what physics calls the quantum superposition. The Mayans didn't just track time, they navigated it. They understood that consciousness can literally jump between parallel realities, selecting which timeline to experience. Modern quantum physics calls this the many worlds interpretation, but the ancients were already using it as a practical technology. Here's what's revolutionary about this law. You're not creating your future. You're selecting it from infinite, pre-existing possibilities. Every decision, every thought, every emotion is literally shifting you between parallel timelines. The key is understanding what the ancient Peruvian Cuero call mune, living from the heart's desire with such clarity that you naturally gravitate toward the timeline where that reality already exists. It's not about forcing change. It's about becoming so aligned with your desired reality that you spontaneously shift into the timeline where it's already manifested. But here's the secret the time navigators knew. You can consciously accelerate this process by working with what they called the convergence points, moments of high possibility when multiple timelines intersect. You can make quantum leaps that would normally take years or decades. These convergence points happen more often than you think. They occur during major life transitions, solar and lunar events, and especially during moments of deep meditation or profound realization. The ancients timed their most important manifestation work around these windows of opportunity. The technique is to enter a state of deep presence, what the Aboriginals call dreamtime consciousness, and feel into the timeline where your desire is already fulfilled. You don't visualize it happening in the future. You feel it as present reality. This sends a signal to the quantum field that you're ready to shift timelines. This is perhaps the most powerful and closely guarded secret of all. The ancient mystery schools of Egypt, Greece, and Tibet all taught this principle, but it was hidden within layers of symbolism and metaphor to protect it from misuse. The law of coherent intention states that when your conscious mind, subconscious, patterns, emotional body, and soul purpose are perfectly aligned around a single intention, you access what the ancients called the God Force, the creative power of the universe itself. Most people's intentions are scattered and contradictory. Their conscious mind wants one thing, their subconscious fears another, their emotions pull in a third direction, and their soul purpose remains hidden. It's like trying to start a fire with wet wood. There's no coherence, no focused power. But when all levels of your being align around one clear intention, something magical happens. You enter what the Egyptians called the zone of divine manifestation, and what modern researchers call the coherent state. In this state, your electromagnetic field becomes incredibly organized and powerful, literally broadcasting your intention into the quantum field with laser-like precision. The Tibetans developed specific practices for achieving this coherence. They would spend years aligning their thoughts, emotions, and actions around a single spiritual intention. The results were considered miraculous. Telepathy, clairvoyance, healing abilities, and yes, the power to manifest physical reality through pure intention. Here's the practical application. Before attempting to manifest anything, you must first create internal coherence. This means identifying and clearing any subconscious conflicts, healing emotional wounds that contradict your intention, and ensuring that what you're manifesting serves your highest purpose. The ancient technique is called the Great Alignment. You enter deep meditation and systematically align each level of your being. First, you clarify your conscious intention. Then, you communicate with your subconscious, addressing any fears or limiting beliefs. Next, you generate the emotions that match your desired reality. Finally, you connect with your soul's deepest purpose and ensure your intention serves this larger mission. When all four levels lock into coherence, you become what the ancients called a divine co-creator. The universe literally conspires to manifest your intention because you've aligned yourself with the fundamental, creative principles of existence. But here's something even the mystery schools rarely taught openly. You can amplify this coherence through what I call sacred geometry consciousness. By visualizing specific geometric forms while maintaining coherent intention, you can tap into the same technologies the ancients used to build their incredible civilizations. The key is understanding that consciousness and geometry are intimately connected. The flower of life, the golden ratio, the platonic solids. These aren't just pretty patterns. They're the fundamental structures through which consciousness organizes reality. When you align your intention with these sacred geometries, you're literally working with the architect codes of creation itself. Now that you understand these three hidden laws, let's talk about practical application. I'm going to give you a specific protocol that combines all three laws into what I call the reality architect process. This isn't theory. This is a step-by-step method that synthesizes thousands of years of ancient wisdom with cutting-edge quantum science. But I need to warn you, this process is incredibly powerful. Only use it for intentions that truly serve your highest good and the good of all. Phase 1. Establishing vibrational sovereignty. 5 minutes daily. Every morning, before you engage with the external world, spend 5 minutes in what I call frequency lock-in. Sit quietly and consciously choose your vibrational state for the day. Don't let your circumstances choose it for you. You choose it. Begin by entering the vibrational void, a state of pure potential. Breathe deeply and release all attachments to specific outcomes. Feel yourself as pure consciousness, beyond form, beyond limitation. From this space, consciously select the frequency that matches your desired reality. If you want abundance, feel abundant now. If you want love, feel loved now. If you want creative inspiration, feel inspired now. The key is not to want these things, but to be these things vibrationally. Phase 2. Timeline navigation. 10 minutes 3 times per week. During your meditation practice, work with timeline convergence. Enter dreamtime consciousness and feel into the reality where your deepest desires are already fulfilled. Don't visualize it as future. Feel it as present. The ancient technique is to ask, in the timeline where this is already my reality, How do I feel? How do I move through the world? What decisions do I make? Then step into that version of yourself completely. Feel their confidence, their joy, their peace. You're not pretending. You're accessing a parallel reality where this is already true. Watch for convergence points, moments when you feel a subtle shift in reality, like doors opening or synchronicities aligning. These are your cues that you're successfully navigating between timelines. Phase 3. Coherent intention. Alignment. 15 minutes once per week. This is the master practice. Choose one primary intention that truly excites you and serves your highest purpose. Then systematically align all levels of your being around this intention. Start with conscious clarity. Write out exactly what you intend to manifest and why. Be specific but not attached to how it happens. Next, communicate with your subconscious. Ask, what fears or beliefs might sabotage this intention? Listen for the answers and dialogue with these parts of yourself with compassion. Clear any internal conflicts through understanding and self-love. Then, generate the emotional signature of having already achieved your intention. Feel the gratitude, joy, excitement, or peace that this manifestation would bring. Let this emotion fill every cell of your body. Finally, connect with your soul's purpose. Ask, how does this intention serve my deepest mission? How does it contribute to the healing and evolution of consciousness? Feel the connection between your personal desire and universal purpose. When all four levels are aligned, you'll feel a distinct shift, like everything clicks into place. This is the moment of coherent intention. From this state, simply release your intention to the quantum field with complete trust. The Sacred Geometry Amplifier. To amplify this process, work with sacred geometry. As you perform the coherent intention alignment, visualize the flower of life pattern around your heart, center. See your intention encoded within this sacred structure, then watch as this geometry expands to encompass your entire reality. The ancients knew that consciousness and geometry are one. By working with these fundamental patterns, you're literally programming reality at the most foundational level. Here's the ultimate truth that the ancient masters knew. You are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are the creative force of the universe, experiencing itself through the lens of individual consciousness. The 3 hidden laws I've shared with you today: vibrational sovereignty, timeline convergence, and coherent intention are not just techniques for manifesting your desires. They're pathways to remembering who you really are. An infinite, creative, divine being temporarily playing in the game of physical reality. The ancient mystics had a saying: when the student is ready, the teacher appears. If you've made it this far in this video, you're ready. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? The power to transform your life completely has always been within you. These laws have always been available. The only thing that's changed is your awareness of them. Your reality is not happening to you, it's happening through you. You are the scriptwriter, the director, the producer, and the star of your own cosmic movie. And now you have the tools to make it a masterpiece. The ancients encoded this truth in their temples, their texts, and their traditions, waiting for humanity to evolve enough to use this knowledge wisely. That time is now. You are part of the generation that will remember these truths and use them to create a new world. The only question that remains is, what reality will you architect? In the comments below, share your first coherent intention. What reality are you ready to architect? By putting it in writing, you're taking the first step toward manifestation. And remember, you're not alone in this. We're all co-creating a new reality together.